Hello and welcome to a big Arsenal discussion. I'm your host Giles, and joining me today on today's show are Amanda from Gooner Girls Podcast, Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV, and Arsenal Fan TV regular Mo Hader. Alright guys, let's move on to the FA Cup situation. Last weekend was one of the greatest weekends we've seen in a long time. Whether you're an Arsenal fan or not. Phenomenal weekend. A lot of our rivals have gone out. The road seems to have opened up for us. I mean, at the risk of being a bit too smug and a bit COCKY, how do you see it?
Let's talk about the fact that City lost and Chelsea lost and Tottenham lost.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about those. I mean, how good a weekend was it then, Amanda? How good a weekend was it?
Well, let me explain that I didn't even know what was going on until about halfway through the second half, and I was getting messages from a friend of mine saying, Chelsea are losing, City are losing, and Tottenham are drawing at that point. And when Tottenham lost, it was... Honestly, I mean, the three teams that you would have wanted...
Days of our lives.
It was like... Seriously, it was like amazing. I mean, it was just, I didn't know what one to enjoy first. Yeah. It was like you took it for granted. Oh, Chelsea are out. Chelsea 2-0 up against Bradford at home. What odds would you have got on that at half time? City.
Apparently it was like 1,000 to 1 or something like that.
I mean, you just wouldn't even, if someone would have said to me, right, I'm going to bet on Bradford to win, I wouldn't even take them seriously.
I was saying to someone that if someone said to you have to put your life savings, at the start of the season, it said you have to put your life savings on one game at half time, but it's up to you over the course of the whole season which one you do it on, you'd be like, oh, Chelsea 2-0 up at home against Bradford, you put it
probably
on that
4 or 5-0 they would have gone. Yeah,
it's just a glorious.
Well, it's more glorious because it's Mourinho. It's more glorious that it's Mourinho. Yeah. City are not on a great run, so I was surprised, but not as surprising. Tottenham's second goal was just brilliant. Yeah, I mean, that was like that would have been us months ago, wouldn't it? It was
the thing is,
brilliant.
With Tottenham and City, it was almost self-inflicted because of the goalkeeping mistake at Tottenham, and then City, the arrogance to turn up, less than 24 hours from the Middle East before you're playing in a competitive fixture. Ideally, if you go on holiday, you don't go to work the next day because you're going to be flagging a bit. For them to try and play football at the top level, I just think was a disrespect to the cup. It was a disrespect to Middlesbrough. Yeah. And if I was a Man City fan, God forbid, I would have been livid. If that was Arsenal, I'd have been absolutely livid. I'd want heads to roll for that. That's just absolutely unacceptable. And
heads ain't going to roll because it's the guys from Dubai who said,
exactly.
They run the club.
Pellegrini, he made that mistake, the maths mistake in the Champions League group that time, and now he's done this. I think these are rookie, unacceptable.
Do you think
errors.
It was him? I mean, we don't really care.
Well, but, he's the manager. He's the manager. He has to be in charge of the preparation. If he says, I want them there the night before, I want them in the city on the day and all that, that's up to him. But the Bradford one, massive respect and credit to Bradford because that was not self-inflicted on Chelsea. That was Bradford.
Did you see Bradford's co-chairman being interviewed? That was one of the best interviews. I became a Bradford fan because I just thought his passion, and he was so excited being interviewed by Match of the Day, wasn't he? And their fans were great. Mourinho, obviously, it's Mourinho, don't go there, but Tottenham losing. It's just, you couldn't have really wanted much more.
Yeah, you could have scripted it. I mean, Robbie, the quadruple's over. The dream is over.
The quadruple was never on.
Invincible.
No, the Invincibles was brilliant.
Invincibles, mate. The funny thing about that is the same like you guys. I mean, it's such an amazing day of football because I took my son to the barber shop, and I remember I was in there, and the barber shop, they got a TV in there, and it flashed up Chelsea winning 2-0. And I said to the guy in the barbershop, I said, that's it. We're going on about 6 now.
Yeah.
And then they just pulled one back. When I was leaving the barbershop, that's when Bradford just pulled that goal back. And I was like, hello. Right? And then I went somewhere else, and then I was driving home, turned my radio on, and I heard the commentator getting all excited about Bradford. And I was thinking, it's a draw. They equalised 2-2. And then he goes, it's 3-2. And then he goes, Bradford has scored 4-2. I couldn't believe it. Then he said, City are losing. Then he said Tottenham lost.
But do you think that you couldn't enjoy it? Because you didn't know. It went from one to the next. I was like, what do you mean?
But the thing is, Amanda, right? I was like, you know what? I got onto my phone and I was blazing up Twitter. I was blazing up, right? I was like, because the night before I'd been blazing it up with the Man United fans. Then I was blazing it up with Chelsea, blazing it up with Tottenham, blazing it up with City. All these fans that give me stick. And then I said, after about an hour of blazing up, I said, wait a minute.
Yeah, we haven't played yet.
We ain't played yet.
It did put pressure on us a little bit because Liverpool drew.
Yeah.
United had drawn Friday night, and we're like, we're going cocky down this road. I don't do cocky before I go. But even
I was like, oh no,
we've still
we
got
ain't
to play
played
Brighton
yet.
here.
Yeah, but full credit to us, and full credit to us. We went there. And we've done it eventually.
But out of all of them games,
go on.
out of all of them games, no matter what happened, even if we took the left, right, and centre of Chelsea, there's no way they can come back from that. You know, even if we had gone and lost to Brighton, you know, that you were 2-0 up at home against Bradford.
Do you think they got?
I usually I'm quite cautious. You know, if we get to play, I'll just rein it in and then go for it. But not Chelsea Bradford. I couldn't resist. And also, it doesn't matter what happened at Brighton because they cannot say anything after that. It's no consolation to them.
Do you think that the press were a bit easy on Chelsea? Because when we went to Bradford a couple of years ago and lost in the
penalties we lost and we got slaughtered. And
I think exactly. I think the press were very easy.
But you've got to understand, City had lost and Tottenham had lost, so it wasn't only. I know that was the biggest story, of course, being 2-0 up against Bradford. I don't know because I don't read the papers, but I think because Harry reacts to it. He goes in the dressing room, he shakes. It's all about him. Yeah. He takes it away. He deflects every time, and then Drogba goes in with the FA Cup footballs. They've made the story about that. Not the fact that this is the biggest.
I don't buy all of that deflection rubbish. People are wise to it now. It used to work back in the day, and it was quite subtle.
But no, the papers are wise to it, but they are very in Mourinho's camp. They love that.
I don't think the fans are. Listen, the papers love Mourinho because he sells papers. The papers don't like Arsene Wenger because he just doesn't really care for them. For me, it's very, very simple. The fans are not that stupid that we actually feel like, oh, it's all about Mourinho. We know Chelsea messed up big time, and they will be. Well, do you know what? Big teams produce a reaction.
Do you know what? I'll say one thing. It did us a favour, Arsenal. Not in just that they're out. In the fact that when we went to that game in Brighton, we took that very seriously because we didn't. And actually, even though Brighton got those 2 goals, I mean, I was at the game. I thought that we were so comfortable in that game. I was really surprised when they got both the goals. Literally, the 2 shots they had in the game they scored from, but I really did think that it was quite a commanding performance by Arsenal, even though we conceded those 2 sloppy goals, and we took it. I think we took that game seriously. Even when they got that second goal back, we brought on Coquelin, we brought on Sanchez, we just shored it up. And
to me, it seemed like we were cruising. Yeah, it looked like we were cruising at 2-0. They come back to 2-0. We thought, forget this. We're not doing a Chelsea here. We're not doing a Chelsea.
And I know we're all getting cocky and everything,
not we all,
right? But we do have to remember that Middlesbrough we face in the next round did beat Manchester City, so we're going to have to take that seriously as well. And the thing is, remember the FA Cup is a thing that you look at that Chelsea game. Look how many Bradford fans are there. You bring a lot more. It's a different type of game, even when you go away, because like Middlesbrough will bring 10,000 fans to the Emirates, so they'll make a lot of noise.
The thing
they've got nothing to lose.
They've got nothing to lose, but I'm glad it's at home because I think at home I'm always think that we can get through at home, but we're going to have to treat that game just like how we treated the Brighton one. Take it seriously. Let's not think we're there yet, And
the thing that causes these giant killings is who wants it more. It was so clear to see Bradford wanted it more than Chelsea. They weren't desperate for it, and we need to make sure that we're motivated enough for that game. And we've always said for years now, when we win our first trophy, more will come. And I really hope that is true. We should be getting that bug. We want another day out at Wembley. We want another parade. We want to get 2016 up on that stadium now. Do you know? Or 2015.
No, the problem is. But the league's there. The league was there for the taking this year.
Yeah, but
and he didn't buy it, and the injuries, and it all goes. It's not against us, but unfortunately, we could have won the league this year.
Could have won it last year because we bought a striker. But
it's not a great league this year, is it? It's not. If Man United are fourth, it's not a great league because they're atrocious.
One of the things as well with Bradford, just the quality of their last 2 goals was absolutely superb.
Oh my God.
That finish for the 3rd goal.
Yes.
Is
even Middlesbrough are saw a guy in that game do a turn on
company.
Mugged him on Bergkamp turn.
It was Bergkamp.
So
it was
we've got to be.
Okay, sorry.
Nothing's better than Bergkamp.
I just want to say,
I want to caution everyone here. Yeah? Let's just calm down. That Middlesbrough game is going to be a hard game.
Okay.
If we're on the money, we'll win it.
Yeah.
But
just to state, Bergkamp's goal against Newcastle defied the laws of logic. I've tried it a million times. I cannot do it. I cannot even comprehend how he did it. I can comprehend how the Middlesbrough player did it. It's not in the same league. I'm just saying that.
I mean, okay, all right. Let's just hope that Wenger makes sure that all Fly Emirates planes are grounded.
Yeah.
Middlesbrough game.
Also, let's note that if we win the FA Cup this year, we become the most decorated team in the oldest, most historic club competition cup in the world. Okay,
Wenger,
we hit 12 FA Cup wins, more than anyone else, and Wenger becomes joint most successful FA Cup manager in terms of FA Cup wins with, I can't remember the guy's name, but I think it was an Aston Villa manager who won the FA Cup between 1887 and early 1900s or something. So talking about modern era, Arsene Wenger's the most successful manager and the joint of all time. That's a huge carrot to go out on for Arsenal and also Arsene Wenger in terms of his legacy.
Indeed, quite. Okay, so we've had a laugh about Chelsea, Tottenham, and
Tottenham
and Cambridge.
The Tottenham one
weekend has been so ridiculous, and we're not even talking about Cambridge holding Man United to a draw.
Liverpool, who knew the situation, Liverpool, and slipped up as well. Listen, the FA Cup is back. I think it's back.
So that's been a big Arsenal discussion. Thanks for joining us.